All right. We are back. Another live scrolling X with the salty boomer. And there we go. We're good. How's everybody doing today? We are going to scroll through X and see what's going on in the world today on this Monday, 21st of October, 2024. A couple of weeks away from the big deal, the big election. I don't know if you saw yesterday, but Donald Trump went to McDonald's and the leftists are having a cow about it. And they're informing everybody that it was not real, that it was all planned. Really? Wow, we all thought Trump actually, we all thought he actually got the job at McDonald's and then he was going to be working at McDonald's. We didn't know that that was all a planned political stunt. And you know how you know that it worked really good? Because the leftists are going absolutely batshit crazy about it today. And then something else was on X yesterday was the Dominion voting machines. They are threatening people and warning people not to complain. Do not complain about their voting machines and possible fraud, or they're coming after you. I'm sure that's going to work out good for them in a free society. All right, so let me say this before we get started too far into this. Everything on my channel is complete nonsense. Do not believe a word of it because I am a known liar. Everything is complete satire and made up from my imagination. So whatever I say, don't believe a word of it. All right, let's get into what's going on X today. And we're just going to scroll through and see what we can find and what's going on and what we want to look at. What do you guys think of this guy, Vivek Ramaswamy? See, I'll tell you straight out, I do not participate in the whole system. I don't vote. Of course, I live in Hawaii. By the time we vote, it's over. I mean, it's pointless, really. But just to put it out there, I think left and right I think they're all crazy. But the people who have gone on with Trump, like this Vivek and Elon Musk and Robert Kennedy Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard, and it's got quite a good team, if you ask me. But what do you guys think of it? Let me know what you think of their dream team that they're putting together here. Trump participates in the 11th hour faith leaders meeting in Concord, North Carolina. So Trump went to North Carolina today. Living on Maui like I do, we went through this whole thing last year with FEMA and all of that, where people, back then you only, North Carolina residents got a big raise to $750. Maui residents only got $700. Now, if we were Ukraine, we probably would have gotten billions of dollars. But we're not, and we didn't. And by the way, those money from FEMA are loans. You actually have to pay that back. Did you know that? It's quite crazy what they actually do to people. But we were ignored also. How are vaxxers this oblivious? Ashley Winter, a urologist, says my baby daughter got her second flu shot and her COVID booster today. And you know, it's usually these people that are supposedly educated that are, quite frankly, the dumbest ones around. It's quite amazing. And remember, everything I say is nonsense. This channel is complete satire. I'm only reading what's on X, YouTube. You know, everything that I'm come up with is completely out of my imagination and not true. And then Ashley Winter, after she says her baby got her COVID booster, that was 12/7/23. Honest question, how do you deal with your child constantly being sick when both parents work? Between pulling her out of daycare and frequent pediatrician appointments, it feels so hard to accomplish everything you need. Well, maybe if you would remove your head from your butt, that would work better. Maui Freedom TV. There's a lawsuit filed. Unjected founder Shelby Hosanna and 6 other plaintiffs under the name Team Humanity file a federal lawsuit against several defendants, including the Biden-Harris administration, Pfizer, Moderna, J&J, and a whole bunch of other agencies. They're calling to end the COVID-19 vaccination, banning chemtrails, 5G technology, and the border crisis. Wow, that's a lot of different things to be suing for in one lawsuit, I guess. All right, moving on. The Hodge twins. Most of these celebrities supporting Kamala are doing it because they did some shady shit in their past, and they know Kamala's feds will protect them. It does seem as if we have a very much two-tier justice system, and our justice system is very much corrupt. And why do these celebrities all come out at the same time? Could it be because when you're in the club, you get to witness some things that maybe you shouldn't? And they might even tape you doing some things that maybe you shouldn't. But remember, YouTube, everything I say is a flat out satire nonsense. Steve Kirsch, vaccinating healthcare workers for flu has no benefit. So why do we do it? He's been pounding the drums about vaccines' efficacy and safety for a long time. So I like to see that, because do we really know how safe these are? They used to do experiments on lab rats. Well, guess what? You are now the lab rat. And once again, nothing I say is true, because I am a known liar. Breaking news, Kamala Harris said her people are looking into Elon Musk for rewarding random Pennsylvanians who sign his petition with $1 million. This means the feds are actively looking into Elon because of Kamala Harris. And they're constantly projecting that Donald Trump is going to come after his political enemies, when that's exactly what they're doing right now. So Elon Musk has this thing, if you haven't heard, that people who signed this petition about America being America first and First Amendment strong and Second Amendment strong and that type of thing, each day somebody wins $1 million. Now, you don't have to be a Republican. You don't have to be a Democrat. You can be anything you want. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to be registered to vote. You don't even have to vote. All they're asking you to do is sign an America First petition for your chance to win $1 million. And the leftists are going berserk about this. And I don't know what they can do about it. It's a private citizen with a giveaway. And like I say, you don't have to be Republican. You don't have to be Democrat. You don't even have to be registered to vote or even vote. You just sign a petition. And old Kamala thinks that, people should be looking into this. Wall Street apes. Donald Trump confirms he will pull the United States out of the Paris Accord on climate change. He did that once already, didn't he? If you're elected, yeah, he did that once already. And I guess Potato Head Biden got us back into it. Climate change is pretty simple. If you're a bank and climate change is this looming catastrophe, would you give a 30-year mortgage for beachfront property? That doesn't make any sense. And then you see all the celebrities and past presidents like Obama who have several properties right on the beach. How does that make sense? If sea level are rising out of control. I'll tell you from my personal experience, I've lived on an island for almost 40 years, 39 years now. There's no sea level rise. But once again, YouTube, you know me. Everything I say is complete nonsense, and none of it is true. It's made out right out of my imagination. Scott Adams. He's a guy who does Dilbert. McDonald's should create a new burger in honor of President Trump. What should they call it? Well, maybe they should just rename the Big Mac as the Big MAGA. I don't know. What do you think? And once again, let me say, I follow politics. I'm a political junkie. But I think they're all controlled. Everyone, well, maybe not every single one of them, but most of them are controlled on the left and the right. And I do not participate in the voting system. Being from Hawaii, it doesn't really matter. It's all over by the time we vote anyway. But just so you know, I'm just reporting what I see here. I'm not left. I'm not right. I'm a political junkie. Okay, Dr. Naomi Wolf. What is this? Yeah, more vaccine stuff. They are really trying to push making vaccines mandate, which, once again, vaccines are not, mandates are not law. So they can't really make you do anything. I understand a lot of people did what they had to do to save their job, but yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, when they talk about abortion rights and it's, your body, your choice, well, then it doesn't apply when it comes to vaccine. What happened to your body, your choice? I mean, it's so hypocritical. if you want to get a vaccine, get it. But if you don't want to, you shouldn't be punished. I mean, that seems pretty simple to me. Okay, here's a video that they say if you haven't seen this, wow. Hurricane Helene survivor buried to his neck in mud asked not to be saved as his wife and children were buried below his legs 3 days prior. Yikes. I don't think I want to watch that one. That's unbelievable what's going on in North Carolina and the amount of people that have perished from that. And you know what happens? And the same thing happened out here in Maui. The news cycle moves on. There you go. It moves on, and everybody's forgotten about. The Wolf of X. This thread will brighten up your day. Well, I don't know about that. MSNBC is in full panic mode after Donald Trump labeled them as enemies from within and suggested they could be treated as enemy combatants, facing potential military tribunals and imprisonment. Yeah, I guess if he actually said that, they would be panicking. Published in the New England Journal of Medicine, if you get infected with COVID, you're going to spread it longer if you were vaccinated. So the vaccines are prolonging the pandemic, not shortening it. You hear a lot about long COVID also. Well, long COVID is vaccine injured. They inject poison into you. What do you think's going to happen? Your body rebels. Your body rejects it. And once again, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Everything I say is made up out of thin air from my imagination. Everything on my channel is satire. Nothing I say is true because I'm a known liar. Okay, let's see. A rather important development. Harris appears to be slightly outperforming Biden. It's interesting that I saw a poll the other day, not that I put much faith in polls, but this one just happened to say that 79% of the people say the country is going in the wrong direction. Well, if that's the case, and if that poll is true, then how can these other polls be saying that the election is running at 50-50? So people say 79% say we're going the wrong direction, but they're still going to vote for continuing in that wrong direction. This is why I put no credence whatsoever into polls. The Health Ranger says, I don't have full details yet as release to public hasn't been authorized. Heads up to those of you in Arizona. The coming attacks against infrastructure there, the activation of cross-border sabotage teams is going to be the most intensive anywhere in the United States. Arizona is going to be effectively turned into a war zone. What I can say from a previous intel is that occupying forces already have IEDs, anti-personnel mines, RPGs, SAMs, night vision. Geez. Health Ranger, what are you getting into? If Trump wins, likely the go signal is going to be given fairly quickly after that. And Arizona is going to be hit very hard. More intel coming, as I am authorized to release it. Law enforcement is already being briefed. Arizona law enforcement already in the loop, so they have a heads up. I wonder why Arizona. And this is not me saying this, YouTube. This is Health Ranger on X. Because you know everything I say is a lie because I'm a known liar. Are these people unaware she's literally a cop who made a career out of locking people up for cannabis? Look at poor Willie Nelson. He's morphing into an old lesbian. And he hosts a cannabis event for Kamala Harris. How about that? Jordana Cutler worked as the chief of staff at the Israeli embassy. Now she works at Meta as the head of Israeli-Palestine censorship. As you can imagine, she censored countless pro-Palestine accounts. These dual citizens often find themselves in jobs where they are working for Israel and fucking Americans. And I don't know if you're aware of this also, but there are numerous congresspeople, representatives, and senators who have dual citizenship with Israel and take money from AIPAC, an Israeli Political Action Committee. And did you know that they are the only political action committee that does not have to register under FARA, F-A-R-A. You can look what that is, but it's an agency that monitors political campaigns from people outside the country. But interestingly enough, Israel is the only nation that does not have to register with FARA. Why is that? Charlie Kirk, a reporter, asked Kamala, "Did you work at McDonald's?" She said, "I did." McDonald's just released a statement saying they don't have records confirming her data. Now, in fairness, I saw McDonald's statement, and yeah, it didn't have a record of her working there, but it also didn't say they don't have records of her claiming. What it said was they don't have any records from that time period that would verify whether she worked there or not. And that was part of Trump's whole ingenious campaign stunt yesterday by working at McDonald's for 15 minutes, was to point out that she lied about it. Did she lie? I don't know. Did she work at McDonald's? Maybe. I kind of doubt it. But, you know, she's trying to relate to people. So this is what they do in campaign season. I'm not saying it's right, but it's what they do. Have you seen this one where it is claimed that there are no real satellites? They're all hanging from helium balloons. It's another interesting conspiracy theory. But whenever I hear conspiracy theory, I think that's just somebody who doesn't want to listen or answer questions or open their mind, because we're all programmed. I mean, you know, there's two kinds of bias mainly. Confirmation bias, which is you tend to believe the things that you tend to believe. You look for information that confirms that belief, which is what is a confirmation bias. And then anchoring bias is a bias that what you first learn about a subject is anchored in your mind. And that is your belief about that subject. And unless you are willing and able to deprogram that anchoring bias and reprogram with something you have found out since then to be true, not a lot of people would change their mind about anything. And that's why you have such just strong beliefs, and people really get violent and irritated and angry if you don't believe what they do, it's really quite a weird phenomena, but it's real. And it's hard to get people to not only change their mind, but to even look into the programming that we all got from very young age, from when we were toddlers. We are taught certain things, and I have since discovered many of those things not to be true. And I'm not just talking about Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny. But then again, as you well know, nothing I say on this channel is true because I'm a known liar. Everybody knows that. The mainstream media is acting outraged that Elon Musk is financially encouraging people to vote. Well, I just explained this earlier, but he goes into Kamala Harris paying influencers up to $10,000 per post to tell people to vote for her. Kamala paying $1,500 per post to bash Trump and say vote for her. Kamala paying $400 to tell friends to vote for her. And Tim Walz, the mainstream media, telling the world Kamala Harris is paying people to bash Trump and tell people to vote for her. There definitely seems to be a double standard, especially when it's in campaign season. And what they're talking about, Elon, if you're not up to speed on it, I covered it earlier, but I'll mention it again. He is offering a reward. What do you call those? It's like a lottery. If you sign a petition for America First, and you don't have to be any party, you don't have to even be registered to vote, and you don't have to vote. Just sign the petition, and you have a chance to win $1 million. I don't know, but, the leftists are up in arms about it. Democrat Messaging Project, a pro-Democrat group, is reportedly scattering these across campuses in Wisconsin. And they say the Republicans are the weird ones. That looks like a condom that says, protect yourself from Republicans. Vote Democrat. And I also have something else to say with all the people that are just completely bent out of shape about the entire abortion issue. I think you're looking at it wrong. If you're against abortion, you need to change your mindset. If you're for abortion, have at it. Because if you're against abortion, look at it this way. The people that support abortion are not people that I want reproducing anyway. So they are eliminating themselves. To me, that's a win-win. Let them scream about abortion all they want. I don't want those people producing anyway. Harris's stepdaughter is a model. Okay. Ramesh Sanders, the healthiest children are vaccine free. I think that's probably a true statement. But once again, as you all know, I'm a known liar and nothing I say is true. Moving on. Donald Trump calls the vaccine a miracle. Says he's given Pfizer a great deal of money to complete its development. And High Impact's Flicks, Brian, says never forget, Trump is swamp scum. Brian does not like the system. Neither do I. I'm with Brian on that one. But the thing is, this is the only system we have right now. So it's really a choice of you can dislike the system all you want, but for right now, in 2 weeks, you're going to have to make a decision. Do you want to look at maybe going in a different direction, or do you want to continue on the path we're on right now? It's really as simple as that. If you vote to stay on the path that we're on right now, well, then you cannot complain about the system. And if you vote to move on, then maybe we can do things to work on bettering the system in the future. And like I said, I'm not a Trump fan, I'm not a Kamala fan, but I do think Trump as a businessman and a builder is way more qualified than Kamala, who I think is incredibly incompetent. That's just my opinion. Okay. The Holocaust is underway right now. And all those voices here on X who remain silent are just like the Nazi regime citizens. And he's talking about everything going on over in Israel and Gaza. DC Drano. This is why everyone needs to vote early. Machines break, systems go down, Democrats cheat. Yeah, the Dominion voting machines are a problem. To believe that anything online can't be hacked is just foolish. Just a reminder that the products with a pink ribbon on them in support of cancer awareness actually cause cancer. Yeah, instead of all these companies supporting cancer awareness and wearing pink ribbons, why don't they just take all the cancer causing ingredients out of their food? I mean, that's a thought. People now view questions as personal attacks. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. And people are now calling questions they don't like misinformation. That's the confirmation and anchoring bias I was talking about a minute ago. Yeah. If you think the question is wrong, maybe answer it. It's a question. That's why questions are asked, to get answers. That's like saying the science is settled. Nothing could be more anti science than saying the science is settled. Asking questions is science. Hodge twins, more money for foreign countries. Yeah, this is nuts. Biden Harris has announced that they will send another $400 million to Ukraine. Are you on board with that? I don't think many people are. It's almost like they're doing this stuff on purpose. It's crazy. And people, I mean, I get it. I don't know what we're supposed to do about it. These are supposedly our representatives, but none of us represent any of us. So I'm with Brian from High Impact Flicks on that one. The system is completely broken. And it's run by people behind the scenes that are unknown and unnamed. And we definitely need to overhaul the system. And Elon mentioned being in charge of the Department of Government, Department of Government something with an E, I can't remember, and was going to start by cutting 80% of the. I think that's a real good start. And once you cut that 80%, start cutting from there. Democrats are worried about deporting all the illegal immigrants. Who's going to do all these jobs? Well, how about the 80% of the government employees we let go? They can go do all those jobs. Opinions and assumptions are just that. Viruses, this is Val talking now. He's an author of Vaccines, Viruses, and Bacteria, not what you've been told. This is Val saying this, YouTube, not me. To any of my new followers, viruses do not exist and bacteria do not cause disease. And he has reposted a bacteria thread. There's lots of people, including doctors, that are coming out. And two really good ones, if you want to research this on your own, are Dr. Tom Cowan, Cowan, and Dr. Alexander Kaufman, Kaufman. You could get a very different opinion on about what they say viruses is. See, this is how the Matrix operates. The Matrix is a system of control through the use of fear. And what better way to make people fear than an invisible enemy? Climate change, viruses, they use it over and over again. It's called the Hegelian dialectic. Create the problem, wait for the reaction, and provide your pre-planned solution. They've been doing it for centuries, and it continues to work to this day. The Matrix is a system to control you through the use of fear. Byron Donalds, this guy is pretty good. The modern day GOP under President Trump is a changed party, working class party, bottom up party, American people first. Well, I would just say that it's not changed, though. See, this is going back to more of that confirmation bias. It seems changed because that's what the media has told people for decades. The media and the government are the same thing. They are controlled. The CIA recruits and puts people in positions throughout the country to spread the propaganda. And you know who made propaganda legal? Barack Obama made propaganda legal in 2013 with the Smith-Mundt Modernization Act. You can look it up. But of course, YouTube, as you all know, nothing I say on here is the truth. It's all satire. I am a known liar, and everything that I say is coming straight out of my imagination. Zuby says Trump is clearly the better choice for U.S. president. President Clump. In this case, I do believe he is correct. I just think Kamala is so incompetent. She really has no business even being in this position. But that's just my opinion. Okay, Jake Shields is very much going all in against the Jews. And they do have some things to answer for, I will say that. Wide awake media. It takes a staggering level of brainwashing to still hold this position in 2024. Well, I think what 2020 proved is that there is a staggering amount of brainwashing. And for many people, if the TV does not tell you so, they don't bother with it. And there's a reason that they call it TV programming. They are literally programming you. And unless you decide to deprogram and or reprogram, you're going to be stuck with what they tell you. And once again, here's a doctor who very much seemed to be, the more educated you are, the less common sense you have. Got my COVID and flu vaccines today. Then he goes on to tell the lie that vaccines protect you and those around you. Even the CDC has come out and said that it does not prevent anything. But, nothing I say is true because I'm a known liar. And everybody knows that. Oh, good. Israel is to receive $5.2 billion in U.S. emergency defense aid. Why not? We got money to burn. Let me ask you a question. Why do we have to pay taxes? Why do people pay taxes if we can just print money? They say we're $35 trillion in debt. Who are we in debt to? Well, they say, well, we are in debt to China because China bought our debt. Well, who did China buy our debt from? Who did we owe that China bought it from? See how this works? See how the lies, they just tell you that we're in debt. They show you a chart on TV. We're $35 trillion in debt. We've got to raise the debt ceiling because we're in so much debt. To who? If we can just print money, why aren't we in debt to anybody? Just print some money. It's all a very shady system, isn't it now? The moon landing. There's another good one. Ah, yes, the moon landing. If you believe that we landed on the moon, well, I don't know what to say. Confirmation bias, anchor bias, programmed since we've been little kids. Learn to expand and open your mind. Look at new ideas. I think you'll find it's very unrealistic. But that's up to you. I'm not trying to tell anybody what to believe or trying to convince anybody of anything. I merely point things out and encourage people to do their own research. Jews monitor public sentiment. They know they are running out of friends hour by hour. They are desperate to regain our sympathy and are constantly using cunning methods to do so. What this means is that Jews, if they run out of other options, are likely to engineer another startling event to make themselves appear as helpless crybabies and victims. The next event they perform against themselves, they may be surprised to find that nobody really cares. They might find, if anything, that is cheered on. Now remember, YouTube, this is not me saying this. This is this guy, Aiden Hunter, on X saying this. They may get a few of the typical thoughts and prayers, but millions around the world will be silently thinking, good. Whenever you see the Jew acting like a helpless crybaby, just remember all of the millions of Gentile children who were starved to death, mutilated, and burned alive by Jews. Always keep these victims fresh on your mind. If we were to have the slightest sympathy for the Jew, it would be the most horrific betrayal of these victims. Any pity for the helpless Jew is treason against humanity and a crime against future generations. Whatever happens to Jews, it is God's judgment manifesting itself at this point. It is not our place to question God's deliverance of justice, no matter how harsh it may seem, and no matter how much the devil may wear the mask of a helpless angel. It would be a sin to stand in God's way or feel any sympathy for the devil. We have sympathy only with the millions of Gentiles that the Jew has slaughtered throughout history. Well, that's an interesting take by Aiden Hunter. That's not coming from me. That's from him. We're merely scrolling Twitter and seeing what's going on in the world. CBS News said Elon Musk, the world's richest man, is making an all-out push to re-elect Donald Trump. Well, Okay, isn't he allowed to vote and campaign for whoever he wants to? I mean, people on the left, Oprah Winfrey comes out and campaigns for Kamala. Where's CBS News headline about that? The media is very biased. President Trump went to Asheville. Not President Trump, presidential candidate Trump. I guess still, once you are president, they even after you're president, I mean, you still call President Obama, you still say President Clinton. Pencils for Halloween. That ain't gonna work out so good. Trump went to a barbershop. This just in. Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez fumes after Donald Trump picked up a shift at McDonald's. Say he's making fun of us. Well, the lefties are just mad because it was really a really good political stunt. It worked really well. And they don't like that. And that's why they don't like it. Believe me, if Kamala would have said, you know, she worked at McDonald's, and if she would have gone and done McDonald's, the leftist media would have been praising her for the next week, for the next 2 weeks. Okay, you DC Drano, underreported brilliance of the McDonald's photo op. 100% of the political action has been sucked out of the media for 3 whole days, just 2 weeks before the election. Kamala can't get her message out. It's all Trump, Trump, Trump. That's what I just said. It was very effective. A very effective political stunt. I mean, I don't understand how the left can pretend like that wasn't a stunt. Like, oh, he didn't actually work at McDonald's. That McDonald's was closed. It was all rehearsed and it's make believe. Well, yeah. They tried to kill him twice. You don't think you're just going to take no precautions at all, do you? Bottom line, the political stunt worked very well. Yeah, there are no buts. I got into this with somebody the other day. They said, I believe in freedom of speech, but there's a time and place. I told them, time and place, that's hilarious. If you have to say but after you say you believe in freedom of speech, you don't believe in freedom of speech. Uh-oh. I can't watch that. I can't. She's too cringy for me. I just can't do it. I mean, I don't listen to Trump either. I mean, like I've said earlier, and I will continue to say, I don't take part in it. I am a political junkie and have been for 40 years, but I do not take part in our voting system. To me, voting is an illusion. It's an illusion of choice. I think these people are pre-selected. However, this cycle might be a little different. It may be too big this time for them to rig. But with that said, I live in Hawaii and my vote is meaningless. Absolutely meaningless. The election's over by the time we get to vote. Let's see. Dang it, Bobby, give me that calculator. I don't care how many ovens there were. There still are our greatest ally. Yeah, if you do a little math on that Holocaust event, the numbers don't number. I'll just say that. But remember, nothing I say on this channel is true because I am a known liar. It is strictly made out from the depths of my imagination because everything I say on my channel is pure satire. They're trying to figure out if President Trump has a sense of humor. President Obama shared a photo of him getting close to Kamala Harris. Obama has never been this invested in a presidential campaign. Seriously, what's going on? Well, probably because he's the puppet master? Could be. Let's let this go down on record. The only proposals that have been offered is to send more money to the border, which will be used to process more immigrants faster into the country. Number one. And number two, to legalize them all, grant them amnesty, as if that would somehow address any of the problems that we're experiencing. Yeah, this is the deal with bringing tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of illegal immigrants into the country. And guess where they're all sent? To all the swing states. Because the only way the leftists can win is by silencing their opposition and cheating. And to get back to the whole COVID thing, I read a post earlier where they're still demanding that you are vaccinated to work at certain places, to go to certain universities. However, the open border, everybody just walks right on across. Nobody knows who they are. Nobody knows anything about them. None of them are. Who knows if they're vaccinated or not? That's the true hypocrisy of this. How can people put up with being told that the vaccines are mandated for you to work at this hospital or this university or whatever, and then just have an open border? That's how you'll know it's all bullshit. That's how you know it's all complete bullshit. Trump went to Steelers game. Owen Benjamin's always arguing with somebody. Okay, this guy is for Harris, and he says that they've got a great turnout. The Japanese are shocked by what they see. They're not used to seeing this circus on the streets of Japan. Yeah, the streamers are going nuts over there. And Jake Shields says, diversity is our strength. Of course it is. That's why all the animals mix. You know, you see lions hanging out with zebras and chimpanzees and no. All the animals stay together. And the only one that's not allowed to say that is white people. Because if you're a white person, you say, I like to stay with other white people, oh, you're automatically branded a racist. Automatic. Anyone else, any other. Black people can say they like to stay with black people. Asian people can say they like to stay with Asian people. And on and on and on. Not if you're white. No. You can't say white lives matter. You can't say, I just want to be around white people. Oh, no. That automatically makes you racist. The problem is they've overused the word so bad that it really has zero meaning anymore. I'm convinced IQs have dropped by half since 2020. I'll agree with that. People at the post office look like they've just landed from outer space, confused by doors, pens, mail slots, absolutely cooked. And Victor Scott says, I see this while driving. I've seen some retarded stuff over the last few years. The shots lower the IQ. Dr. Daniels was saying 20 years ago the vaccines lower the IQ of children. We see this happening with adults now. And once again, YouTube, that's not me saying that. That's Andy Scott and Victor Scott on X saying that. Because as you well know, everything I say on this channel is completely made up and untrue because I am a known liar. Any proof that Earth revolves around the sun today? See, that's the thing with flat Earth. If you say you think the Earth is flat, People want you to prove it. They don't understand how this works. The claim is that we live on a spinning water ball. The burden of proof is on the group that claims that we've been taught and indoctrinated and programmed with since we were wee little toddlers. The burden of proof is on that. And the more I check into it, that proof is not there. But as you all know, nothing I say on this channel is true. Why? You know why. Because I'm a known liar. Okay, here's today's winner. Shannon from McKee Rocks, Pennsylvania, won $1 million for signing our petition to support the Constitution. So this is what Ilana's doing, giving away $1 million a day. What a blessing for these people. And the left is losing their mind about it. It's just like a raffle. You don't have to be any particular political persuasion. You don't have to even be registered to vote, and you don't even have to vote. All you do is sign the petition to support the Constitution, and you are eligible to win $1 million. And the leftists are losing their mind. All right, let's see what else we got here, and then it'll be about time to wrap this thing up for today. Someone should ask Mark Cuban why Dirk Nowitzki's brother filed a lawsuit against him, alleging that during a drunken night, Mark made an inappropriate move on him and claimed that Barack Obama was born in Kenya. Mark Cuban, he put his tongue in my ear and put his hands down my pants. I jumped up humiliated and told him I'm not gay. Cuban and Barack went into the Oval Office, and Cuban told me that Barack told Cuban he was not a U.S. citizen, but in fact born in Kenya. Okay, that's getting crazy. But this guy claims that Dirk Nowitzki's brother filed a lawsuit against him. I have no idea if that's true. And the Hodge twins say, "What the fuck, Mark Cuban? Explain yourself." And once again, YouTube, that's not me saying this. I am merely scrolling X and reading what I see being talked about here. Because as you know, nothing on my channel is true. It's all a figment of my imagination. Because I'm a known liar. And with that, I think that's going to do it for today's Scrolling X Live with the Salty Boomer. I will see you all again tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, and we will scroll X and see what's going on in the world tomorrow. All right. Everybody have a great day, and aloha.